Hey everyone, Tom here, battlerapresume, back with one of my favourite things to do on the channel, to look back, to do these editions of Classic Event Rewind. If you're not familiar, it's myself and a guest looking back on a seminal day or weekend, and just trying to look at the event in the full original order it was in, but just giving our fresh opinions on old classics. And today, is an event that I'm sure everyone like me who's, was into Don't Flop at that time regard incredibly highly. Really one of their last huge events. I mean, just to put it into a timeline, chronological idea, it was before 7th birthday. This is actually Saturday, 25th of April, 2015, near enough 5 years ago somehow, at the time of us recording this in March 2020. But it's not just going to be myself. Today I'm joined by a guy, he is an all-around broadcaster and streamer, musician. You may have seen him.
Jack of all trades.
Yeah, exactly. Everywhere. Full-time Devils out there as well, doing some live streams. Hughesy, how's it going, man?
I'm all right. Thanks for having me. I just want to give a huge shout-out to Crafty for his win, because...
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah.
Basically, I thought he'd get whooped, but there you go.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not actually been released yet at the time of us.
Oh, sorry, have I ruined it?
Well, no, I mean, no, the people know. People know that Kraft won, yeah, and people agree that it was a little bit of a shock, a pleasant one. But yeah, it's not on pay-per-view or anything, so we haven't seen How Savage or whatever it was. But yeah, no, definitely shout out to Kraft. And just before we get into Checkpoint 2, obviously we've got a hell of a lot of battles to get through, and several of them I regard very highly, like some incredible battles went down on this day of Checkpoint 2. Yourself and Battle Rap, from what I gather, you've been a fan since Jump Off sort of era.
Jump Off era, yeah. The first battle I ever watched, I didn't actually see it live. I saw a slideshow, like a clip. It was Iron Solomon versus Jin. That was my first sort of introduction to it, I think. And I just heard the audio. So you didn't actually see the live battle. You saw you just heard it. And it was just so. Then I saw the release after that, and I just heard I ain't gonna talk about your aura, Jin, and all that, and then the breakup of Jin, and that was just the writtens over the sort of freestyle, and that's what obviously I saw 8 Mile and all that, and then I got more into it through that, and then I saw Iron Solomon versus the Saurus, and just started off with Jump Off as well. I saw him battling a British dude, and it just went from there basically. And then it went on to KOTD, and Grizzlemania, Grind Time 2. So it's just been basically part of me.
Yeah, you've been there for it, yeah. So you've seen the rise and fall of Don't Flop then and stuff.
Basically, yeah. I've been through all the years of just being a bit of a loser and watching going over it's good because you say what you want to sort of thing. So it's a reason. I just got into it through that, and me and Zach at work would be talking about it all the time. Oh, did you watch that battle?
Yeah, and then you've got to have a friend who's into it. I had the same thing. You got to have a fellow obsessive. Yeah,
that's it. I hate it when people say oh, you're a wigger because you're into that, and it's just come on, just because I like rap and I like lyrics, it's just.
I know, it's so reductive. Yeah, such a shame. But today is Checkpoint 2. Any memories from this time? Because I recall this was just business as usual in my perception. Don't Flop were really on a tear this year.
Yeah, they were kicking ass at this point. They just this was way after the 4th birthday, wasn't it? And, It's my favourite Don't Flop event of all time, probably.
Classic. We've actually covered that on a past edition of this show, and that is certainly the ultimate UK event ever.
Yeah, at this point, but it was just when Unan had his little sort of struggle against villains, so it was good to see him come back, and I was sort of rooting for him. But anyway, we'll go through all that in a bit. Anyways.
Yeah. So I'm sure you guys are familiar with Checkpoint 2, but this did go down at Ministry, and that really gets a bad rap. As a venue, perhaps rightly so, in some of the ways that they stage it and some of its overuse, and some sort of things that it can't have. The battlers control the fact that the beer is really expensive there, and the way in and out is quite cryptic. I was there for 7th birthday, but I will say that Checkpoint 2 is one of hands down the best looking battle events I've ever seen. Like, it just really, sometimes the camera pans out far as someone's barring someone's life away. The crowd is just swamps the whole thing. They're so eager. It's excellent.
It's cinematic in it, and it's like, I noticed that about Resolution as well, the URL. That's sort of got like a Caesar's Palace vibe about it, and it just looks cool. And it's got like an intimate, but like the lighting's there, and it's all sort of just looks like dead electronic and sort of like good nightclub vibe, but also quite visual as well. So that's what drew me to it straight away when I saw Cee Major. The production on it was top notch.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And just on that same train of thought, I just want to say I've recently rewatched Ava versus Ilmac. I think it's like Battle of the LA5. I can't remember, but oh my god, the way that battle looks as well. Like, it really does. It kind of sticks out as something just oddly beautiful and captivating, alongside just Ilmac getting the body. But yeah, no, all of the battles, they benefit from this environment. So let's just get into it then. So the first battle is Pedro versus Michael White.
I put him on cellar blocks, hustling, sending rocks. A helicopter, fuck you goofy twat. Don't start moving back or you'll be losing rats. Right, listen then. You're into hitting men. Your sister, she kissed my friend before you. Alright, listen. Yo, man's more soft in the neck of a birdhouse. You get ripped and wrapped up, sent to the church house. 15 man get sent to your bird's house. You got zipped and back, that's the end of the first round.
This motherfucker went ahead and said I had a pussy. And the only reason he said I have a pussy is because he has a pussy. And he's a lesbian. And it makes him feel better about himself when he pretends to be in a relationship with someone who has the same thing as him. So I like tricking him. That's why I turn the lights off when I'm sticking my dick in them, just to make them think I'm fucking the shit out of them with a strap-on dildo when we're scissoring. Bitch!
Tony's hosting. Missing. This is the first battle of the day. So many people there. From what I remember, they've been waiting for a long time. I wasn't actually at this event, but I'm sure we've had people on the show that discussed it. I think Bagnall spoke about it as well. Was late for whatever reason, and Tony's there. Michael, an acquired taste, right? And certainly in this battle.
Yeah, bit like Bobby Goldthwait meets Paulie Shaw meets Busybone.
There is a Paulie Shaw aspect of Michael White, actually, that I've never considered.
Yeah, there is definitely California man stroke, like the Busybone vibe, and definitely the guy out of Police Academy with the voice.
Some Encino man in the mix. Yeah, he's and Pedro was ascendant. At that point, really, people were getting really excited. There was, even a chant. Tony says, "The man, the myth, the legend." Yeah, he just. This battle disappointed in a lot of reasons, really. Michael left it an open goal, but I don't know if Michael sort of sullied the crowd and sort of confused everyone, because very arch style throughout these rounds.
Well, what I find about this guy is, he's big in Texas, isn't he? I did a bit of research and that. I went on YouTube, but he's quite big in Tex over there. It's probably because they're all a bit like sort of like rural and sort. I don't know, like the simple vibe, but it is true. Like
he's skitterish, yeah. I mean, he projects well, but then he doesn't really punch in the first. He calls out daylight, to the camera. That's pretty much what he does.
Yeah, and I think like it's awkward because when Pedro's like rapping against him, he sort of stands still normal and then breaks out into this sort of like someone's put on YouTube schizophrenic versus someone with ADHD or whatever, and that's how it looks. It looks a bit like it looks awkward. I'm all right with that style as long as like it's in, but I think I don't know if it's like a language barrier or something, but something about it just looks really difficult to watch him. It looks like a 2-4 sort of thing, not natural, but it's different. But as long as the lines are written, and if they're not, and it's just like some of the stuff he's saying, like you said about daylight and that, nothing really hits for him, and the same sort of like pussy jokes and all that, and it's like I don't know, it's just a bit like sort of skitterish, bit puzzly.
Yeah, it's tired. Yeah, like, and he's quite irritating to listen to. He's quite yappy. His voice, his inflection, that sort of, it's kind of Andy Kaufman-esque, but it's very unique croaky bark that he has. And like you say, he'd get away with it if it was like, but actually, when you consider this sonnet that he's, but it's like, oh no, it's like, I came on your Facebook so you knew I was coming for you or something like that. Like, come on, man.
The thing is, as well, I noticed how he turns his back to the audience, so he's not really engaging with them. He's at Pedro. But if you're doing that sort of awkward, over-the-top style, then I think you should, like, make it more present in front of the audience, make it more theatrical if you're going to do that. Whereas if you're just sort of twitching about, like, you know, I don't know, you're at a nightclub and you're epileptic, then it's like, it's I don't know, it just came across, it just looks a bit scatterdash, and it doesn't really translate to the audience to sort of thinking, who's this dude? Like, he's not really, I mean, he's probably an alright guy outside of it, but I just think, like, I don't know, it just seems really forced.
What about Pedro here to you?
Pedro goes off, like, the Mexican ISIS, I like that.
Yeah, from the off with the headgear, yeah.
Like, I think this was this after we whooped Carlos?
Yes, this was after Carlos, yeah.
Well, this was just a bit after we beasted Carlos, and I felt sorry for Carlos in that, but there you go. I thought he'd done all right, and I like how he's rocking the Umbro and he's marketing that, because obviously they use that against someone, didn't he? Tattoo of the Umbro sign. Yeah,
against Oshea, which was like a few months before, so Kangol's sign gets mentioned or something like that.
I think he starts off all right in this. I don't think he's got much competition, to be honest. So it's like he could be battling like a CD rack or something. I don't know, but it's sort of like, I don't know. It's just like it's him against sort of the crowd are already with him because the other guy's not really hitting. So it's like I just feel he could have spat anything. People would have gone 8, but he still does well, Pedro. And I like his style because it's just like he's not the greatest barsmith, but he's sort of like, you know, he's a genius on drugs, and he can come up with anything. So
yeah, it's not exactly, you know, the vintage Pedro that have been celebrated, but like just because we'd had like the Live performance and, you know, the Oshea and Peace Soldier and Dotz, and like, you know, this was kind of coming on the tail end of a great run for him. Saurus coming up as well, but you know, it wasn't quite as dominating, I guess. But it is difficult, like you say, kind of projecting into the void that is Michael White, who I've never really quite understood. But we'll go now onto the next battle. Now this categorically, and the comments concur, this is definitely one of the best like selections of beats for an on-beat battle ever. This is Charron and Dotz. But I just think altogether, you know, the mix is fantastic. The battlers sound great. You know, it's a real brilliant display of on-beat battling. And, you know, Dotz does kind of falter throughout, and we'll get to that. But it has that kind of high-intensity, kind of relaxed, live, Aggie vibe of scribble. Like, it's insatiable.
Wrap it in plastic, that's sick. Have them disappear like magic and pulling out a rabbit. So why you coming right here? I should smack you up. It ain't the beat, but I'll make you fucking ante up.
Listen, hey yo, I've come here to torture you. I'll wet you up, and I ain't talking about fucking water, dude. You wanna slap me? Let's see what happens. Cause I don't really think you could ever beat me, you little faggot.
Little faggot, watch how I concentrate. I saw your motherfucking girl make her ovulate. Why you talking about water, dude? It's always fake. Get your girl pregnant and make her fucking water break.
Hey yo, and I'ma break this man. Look how fucking scared he is. He's got shaky hands, yo. Yeah, that's right, man. I'll come and behead this gay. And what's wrong, Corey? Didn't take your meds today?
Watch how my rhyming's hot. Shaky hands? Nah, it's Michael J. Fox. He's Canadian. Watch how I spark again. Shaky hands, but I got you shook. You got some Parkinson's.
Yo, hey yo, listen what I say about Jeremy Fox. Yo, you stole that from DNA. Yeah, that's right, you ain't as hard as this. So part this bitch, you stole your raps from Charlie Clips.
It's natural. It's sort of, it's like a New York sort of battle. Like, reminds me a bit like when, I don't know, it was on beat when Bishop Brigante battled Jin. Actually,
okay, yep.
That was like, I only saw that just after, like, I think it was around the same era I was getting involved in, like, watching it on YouTube, and it's got that sort of, I don't just that intense vibe about it. It's like you said, it's like with a beat and that, and it's live and it's all going off basically, and it's all popping, and it's sort of like it's got that continuous flow about it, which like the battle before doesn't really have. So they're both sort of going for it, but clearly Charron's like bit levels above, innit?
Oh my god, yeah. It happens with Dotz, unfortunately. Like, I saw it with DNA, and I guess to a certain extent Big Cannon in the freestyle Royal Rumble. But when he gets to these sort of international opponents, I don't know what happens, because it's just I can't deal with the hypocrisy of getting angry at Charron for not writing when your actual writtens are they're terrible. Like, you going through the whole Canadian provinces idea, and, you know, demanding Charron listens to these tired out fucking Vancouver cliches, like, you know. But yeah, Charron's just relentless, isn't he? This is kind of like, this is pre-walling out Charron. Like, this is just kind of a disciplined practice. Like, he knows what to do with guys like Dotz, I guess.
Yeah, he's one of the best at rebuttals, and he's like in the game. So Charron, this is the only person that sort of like Roan sort of like pulled him up a bit ago about the autism and that. Sure. And I liked his angle, and he was one of the first battlers to use it against him in a crafty way. I don't know. I thought Roan did really well against Charron in that battle. Don't know if anyone's seen it, but that's the latest. I think in this, like, I beat Eric Wright. That's a Queen's MC. You lost to DNA like Easy E. Got that. I like that one. That's good. That's in
proud of that. Mm-hmm.
He comes back from Vancouver, Manhoover, like what Dotz says to him, but Dotz doesn't have anything.
Not really.
I don't know if the crowd are with him. Again,
not really. No, they're not. And like, he seems to sense that, and he does that fake out headbutt as well to Charron. What's that about?
It's probably getting angry because he knows he's losing. That's what I like when I watch it. It's good to watch it because I'm only a neutral, so when you're watching it as a neutral instead of an actual, because I'm not an actual battler, but it's, I don't know, it's I like all that sort of psychology behind it, and when how angry they get, and some can keep the composure, but others you can tell like it really sort of ends up going shit for them, doesn't it, after if they're getting beat. And he was getting whooped, and the crowd weren't feeling him whatsoever. I think he said some all right lines, but the crowd were just like...
Yeah, well, if someone's winning, like, the other guy sounds shit, like...
Yeah, but hide and seek, what your girl calls foreplay. This is Charron. You look like a metrosexual baseball player.
Yeah. Of course. Stuff, and then we get into the 4-bar trade-off towards the end, where Dotz again just can't quite keep up. Charron, though, is pretty unflappable.
More embarrassing than me saying Boston backwards.
Yeah.
More flop than anyone in the stadium. Not even from here, and got them to hate on him. Yeah. So I'm not even from here, and I'm already like, everyone hates you more than you hate me, and this is like sort of your sort of. Dotz is from UK in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that makes more sense.
Yeah, no, I mean, Charron, again, with that kind of freestyle caliber, even as the beat changes, he's like naming the producer and the beat and laying that into the punchline. Dotz saying it's his last battle as well, which I'm pretty sure he didn't obey. I think he's battled since. For
someone who looks sort of like not like a rapper, basically, he's so sort of easy at what he does, Charron, like. And he's a smack killer and all, because he whooped Tay-Rock and he's whooped quite a few of them, and so he's just really good at what he does. He's just good at, like, especially with the rebuttals. He looks a bit awkward sometimes, again, like the way he stands and all that. That's what people say. A lot of, like, the criticism is, but I can count on my hands how many battles he's lost. Like, not many. So. And
he wins pretty convincingly. And yeah, if you just on a level of his attention, to his rounds and his caliber and his willingness to face anyone, and I think he plays into that autistic savant kind of thing, and to a really successful extent for it, but only slightly. And he is just such a gifted performer, and I'm in awe of Charron, and I think most people are in this battle versus Dotz. So we move on now to Willzy versus Take No Tox.
This ain't Marvel against Capcom. This shit is stupid and awkward. Like Bowski on a rap song. This is not something I'm proud of. I didn't take this to prove I'm better, because you were lyrically attacking me. I took this because your notification is killing my battery. I'm being dead serious. Fuck all the laughing shit.
If I have to continue to charge my battery, then battery what the judge is going to charge me with, because you guys need to hear me. Now I know I made fun of someone that died, and I admit that's hella wrong. But as a father, I feel obliged to comply to the spirit I get this message from. See, the afterlife is real. We must be there right now because we can feel her presence, Don. She wants you to know that she will always live on through your words and your actions. She just knows that you had to die today so she could use me to deliver this message to her reckless son. It's more than bars, I say. And I'm feeling like Whoopi Goldberg in the movie Ghost. Delivering the message of the dead is just the part I play. Money in the building.
Now, this was a little bit of a surprise battle, and you shout out to these guys for getting on a huge card.
Yeah, I've got loads of notes on this one. Round one, I've got Willzy sets himself up with the funeral home. I think he's already set that up for Tox to sort of go with that at the end, as goes into it. I think this is a bit of I'd give it about a 6. It's not like. It's all right. The pace is
the third, I think. The third makes it interesting.
We got on the third.
I mean, the third is quite stomach turning, but
yeah, yeah. The heavy shit. Let's have a look. If he's a gene any way, shape, or form, he should react to this. Mammy is dead. It's only the rest of the crowd are uncomfortable.
Not to bury the lead. He does say that, yeah.
Look at me whilst I'm concealing. As a father, I feel obliged to comply from the spirit I get this message from. You had to die today so she could use me to deliver in this message.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's using himself as a conduit for his mother in spirit form.
That's quite crafty. Because
that is, actually.
He's saying I'm doing you a favour in a way. Well, I'm dissing you. I'm going deep. But the way he sort of structures it is like...
Yeah.
And you'll thank me later sort of thing. I don't know. It's sort of like complimentary but sick at the same time. And I think that allows him to get away with it. Crowd aren't really fucking with him much because he's obviously... But I'm not going to be biased though, but I think Tox does take it 2-1, but Willzy does have some good lines about anyone taking notes, probably a snitch.
Yes.
Your life got easier moment. Did everything except battle Tally.
Yeah, when he battled Tally. Did everything but battle Tally.
Because this was the gun stuff, weren't it? And instead of just like directing it to apply to Tally. Bars back to back like pub crawling. I like that. That was the first round.
Bars, yeah.
I just thought overall, Willzy got worse and Tox sort of got a bit stronger.
Yeah. I think it's Willzy, by the way. I don't think it's Willzy. But, mate, Willzy, I don't mind. But, Tox, to be fair to him, he's going for the niche reference, which I do always appreciate. But he mentions Timbo and Angry Fan. So he's mentioning like American battle rap podcast personalities and lots of empty reaction to that, a little too obscure for the crowd. He asks if people can actually hear him okay in the first, and they sort of say that they can. We get a long scheme here as well, long phone scheme. Don't know if you remembered that one.
Let's have a look.
Lines and,
I've got the, let's have a look to... Is this from Tox or Willzy?
Tox's first, yeah.
Tox's first, yeah. I'll have it all wrote down. Let's have a look. T-Mobile, you could never beat T. Landlines back, yeah.
There we go. There's some more phone bars from,
just trying to write, you will.
Attack. Oh, no. Beauty of irony. Planning for your death when I was writing Will. That's fucking hard. Love that.
Your attack is weak, like Messi is injured. So,
okay. And
this kettle's black as fuck. I like that.
We get some French Prince scheming as well from Willzy in the second. Checkpoint like a Mexican. Lots of just kind of
get this work on this grass.
Yeah, it's just not gonna. Again, it just not. People don't seem to be really engaging with it on a certain level, but still, the guy's powerful.
I think it doesn't hit as hard, Tox says, work bars, you work for McDonald's, you're the original king of the Ronalds. That was good.
Yeah.
That was alright. That's more police. That's more police protect and serve, because he says something about security, about protecting and serve, community officer or something, but that's more police, I thought.
Yeah, it's a little slumberous, this battle at certain points, and it's still some lines that shine through in the third. This is stupid and awkward, like Bowski on a rap song, and then Willzy ending his third by talking about how those from Manchester shouldn't take their hats off.
Yeah, all because of the Reds and that. Because they all got is it because they all got sort of Voldemort heads and something like that?
Yeah, I think that's the idea. Yeah.
And they're that's how I'd look if I cut my hair, though. That's what I mean. That's what.
Yeah. Oh god. Yeah. I've got a giant head. I mean,
I've got comb over. I can't do that. I tried to have it short, at the top, but I've got a massive forehead, so I'd look ill basically. So I couldn't get away.
So, and then Tox's third, which we mentioned at the start of the battle, where we are getting into personal territory. He does quote Shotty, invokes the ghosts of Arsenal and Shotty there. If he's a G in any way, it's his next level disrespect, really, that he found out on Facebook that his mother had passed away. But just the way that Tox connects it in such a visceral, emotional level, this therapy of the idea of Willzy treating women like objects. He's lost respect for women because that he feels that his actual mother had abandoned him.
Yes, a bit.
Look at me when I'm counselling you, he says.
Yeah, look at me when I'm counselling you. As a father, I feel obliged to comply from the spirit. I get this message from that. Yeah, it's not long after, is it?
You get Tox's astral plane moment.
Well, that's a bit of Charron as well, isn't it? Because he does look at me while I'm, killing you.
I'm sure he was watching.
Yeah, I think he knows. It's a good way to sort of sun someone, isn't it? It's a good way. Yeah. It's belittling, and I don't know. I think it worked. I just think it edged him in that because I think it took the spirit away from Willzy. Willzy, however you say it,
so to speak, and so to call him. Yeah. No, you're right though, and I think that ends in Tox taking it. I'd say. Yeah,
I think it was just a bit. It was a well crafted round, and it was a bit dark and hollow, weren't it? It was sort of like, what the fuck? Like, when I watched it, it was like.
It's a pretty infamous round, yeah.
It's a bit, because it's not like Cortez's was more versus Holohan. It was, I'm going to speak to you.
Yeah, yeah.
This wasn't. This just came out left out of nowhere. Like, if it's a G in any way, shape, or form, we should react to this. Mammy's dead. A bit after, he just sort of threw it in there, so it was a bit more like,
yeah.
It wasn't. It weren't reach sort of thing. It weren't built up with any sort of anticipation. It just
no, it wasn't.
Like, what the fuck? Yeah,
it was memorable.
Someone laughing at a funeral or something. It was a bit like, whoa.
Yeah. I think a lot of people.
Anyway, yeah.
A lot of people felt that way, but that was Tox versus Willzy. So the next battle, it was meant to be Harry Baker versus Carter Deems. I can't really remember the reason why, but this unfortunately didn't go down. And all we got in return was, I say all we got, but what we got in return, unfortunately, we got another battle, Ogmios and Quill, which we'll speak about in a second, but Harry also performed a little thing.
Looking like a Dexter's Midnight Runner.
Right.
That's how I thought it looked. I thought, I watched that. Bit corny, but there you go. What you do, he's not turned up, has he? So you've got to sort of it's entertainment in it, I suppose. And so
no, it's good. It's good that he got on stage anyway and just performed.
It's good. It takes he must take balls to get up and do something where there's no real end game to it. You're just getting on and doing a poem and that. But I think the crowd received it well, and I think it's like a good interval, especially after the. It's sort of like a good release after the Take Note top. It's a good.
It's a palate cleanser.
When you had that. Yeah, you need a bit of comic relief, don't you, I suppose? Just to settle everyone down a bit, because I'm sure the crowd were like, what the fuck? And then they needed a bit of a sort of so it's the right timing for it, innit, really? Mm-hmm. That's how I feel. To have something like that, to have somebody sort of reading out, and it's quite funny as well. It's just it's not really my thing, because even though I was into theatre and I've done my degrees in drama, but funnily enough, when I'm watching battle rap, I just want to see battle rap, you know what I mean? It's just my preference, but I did I don't know, it was good, it's well written.
I do family fortune surveys on the street. And the top answer for Quill, offbeat. You tried to call out Blizzard and Youth, ended up falling out with the tune. Sometimes that works for you, because that's how he got off beating his missus. On account of all the misses. But he was gonna confess regardless. But the cops watched your drops and dropped all the charges.
Reason I didn't have so many questions to ask is because I could already see the flaws in your structure. You built like the Shard. Like the fact you don't pause because you don't pause for effect. You pause because you forget. Big, large pause. You need to moisturize. You drop in tear. You moisten my eyes. You ain't a veteran. You a vegetarian.
So the next battle then I want to talk about is Ogmios versus Quill. This, like we say, was a last-minute introduction. It was actually due to take place, I think, the day after, the second day, which had loads of great battles on. But it got moved forward because Harry couldn't battle Cardines, which I still don't think has actually happened almost 5 years later. But this is a terrific matchup. Obviously Quill's incredible, but I worship Ogmios. I think he's one of the greatest things that ever happened to battle rap. He's certainly one of my all-time favourite writers and performers. I think the guy's a pure genius. And, his first here, talk about a masterclass of taking an idea of a person, a slogan, and really squeezing it for all it's worth without it being cringy or crass or overdone. How about it actually being quite enlightening and beguiling? We're talking about put the kettle on. And what Ogmios does with this idea in the first, I love it.
It just takes it and makes a whole scheme out of it, doesn't he? That's how you ask her for tea. Milking it, that's not my cup of tea. Mm-hmm. I'm a vegan, kind of sleep in the porch of Temp Battler.
Bognor Regis event battler. Yeah. Getting kettled in at this protest, like, Jesus.
Chances keep evaporating, that's all it boils down to.
Come on, kettle bars. Yeah.
Checking for titles, DNA slogan. I know Tybo.
Yeah. Og just has those moves, doesn't he? He has that confidence, that timing.
He's got the ease, he's got the sort of I like the first bar I heard from him, which I actually thought was funny, was one against Adam the rapper, Seagully. That was on the 4th birthday.
Yes. Open the second day, I think.
Yeah, it was that one when I thought, this guy's he looks a bit like, sort of proper vegan sort of Moby clone. That's that sort of techno vibe, Moby, chilled, sort of Kama Sutra, Buddhist.
That kind of Zen, indigo child.
That chilled. But it's actually like the Ibrahimovic bar. I don't know who he did that.
Oh my God, yeah. No, I know exactly what you mean, yeah. When did he do that bar? I fucking, adore that bar.
I think it is.
He did that versus Matter, actually.
Well, was it Matter? The timing about him is dead off tilt in it. It's sort of...
You kind of have to get used to it, I think. If you first watch him, you are just like, this guy's choking, and obviously everyone does those bars, but it's got its own rhythm. I don't know.
Yeah, it translated like people smoking weed more, wouldn't it?
I think so. I think Og has a song about that on one of his tapes, actually, The Last Picnic. People need to go check that out. The early days of that anyway. But, getting to Quill then on his first... a lot of people talk about the wordplay darker than Bane's birthplace.
Yeah, because the Bane and the Dark Knight Rises.
Just gets a reaction, like.
Yeah, Quill does well, but I just think everything he does, Ogmios sort of edges. First time you've ever been a killer with a pen, Hitman Heart, over for you. Over for you, Owen. Dropped in the ring from the start. In search of RS, RZDT, fix up your craft. Nilsum skills reference, wordplay. Yep. Darker than Bane's birthplace, that's later in it. Darker than Hollister Shop.
Darker than Hollister Shop as well, yeah.
Yeah, it's proper wooden and gloomy, innit?
Mm-hmm.
dilated pupils bar I've put there as well.
Yeah, the PE teacher making pupils thinner, yeah. Only makes sense, you got to dilate. And it is great to see at the end of the first, Quill says to Og, join in on the slogan. Like, he gets in on the joke. He embraces it. And, Og's opening for the second, can't respect a man that keeps sea monkeys. Iconic.
Saying Quill sucks on beat.
Yes.
Steve Jobs and Steve Irwin.
Those personals, yeah.
Got off beating his misses on the count of all the misses.
Yep.
Now he just beats off alone.
When he temple taps, he's just trying to see where the tempo's at.
Awesome.
Yep.
Awesome. Kruger diss. I've put I'm 15. Yeah, because they say about Kruger, they're looking like his face. And she gave you her number just 9 digits too short.
I absolutely love that line. That's such a fantastic line.
See, I love it because he's just saying he goes for jailbait, and I like it.
Yeah. What does he say? Like, I don't want to lecture, but you're a lecturer, or something like that. Like, it's great. I don't want to lecture you, but you're a lecturer. Like, tried to move to a minor like a chord shift. What the fuck?
Yeah, that's good. Like little guitar bars there, like A minor, like a chord shift.
Yep.
He'll seize the bait like Carpe Diem. Seize the moment in it. Seize the slide.
Yeah. Doesn't he say like Carpe Diem, Latin for sliding, then DMs?
Yeah.
Wow.
He'll seize the bait and then Carpe Diem, slide up in the DMs. Tried to move to A minor. Yeah, you've got that. Oh, she's only 15 years old, but fuck that. Keep rapping in her ear hole.
Yeah, we should say what they're referencing is there's like a Valentine's video with Cracker and Innuendo and Quill, maybe some others that they did around this time that you might be familiar with. It's still on the channel where I don't even remember it. But
if you don't know that as well, like I didn't know that, and it's still funny because he's done it. You don't have to go back, do you? So he's made it translatable.
Og definitely is someone that I think even my friends who fucking hate battle rap, and whenever I put it on, resent me all these years. So even they appreciate Og. I think he does definitely go through those echelons. But Quill, clears up some things about the sea monkeys in the second. I love how he says to Og, "How old are you?" And he says, "I'm younger than Tony D." And like Og doesn't miss a breath saying it.
Yeah,
it's not rehearsed. It feels very in the moment. It feels very live.
Yeah, I like the lightness of this battle. There's no sort of intensity. I think because Quill's quite chilling. He's always been sort of like sort of lucid. He's quite sort of relaxed on stage, and Ogmios is sort of similar. And they're both. I don't think they take themselves overly serious. I think they like to have a bit of a. You can tell the both like Quill's a party boy, and you can get that vibe. He likes a bit of a drink and a chill, and I don't think he's that intense with it. So he can respect when someone's in a good bar against him. And it doesn't sort of like throw him off. Even want to host battles just to be organic. That was fucking fire. Yeah. That's my favourite. That stood out. Hadouken, for speed, even versus Apollo Creed. Mediating whilst penetrating.
No, there's a lot. There is a lot, and it's just they both kind of latch on ideas. We get the vegan stuff, and from Og we get the idea of Og just has this research game. That's definitely one of his great attributes that maybe people don't speak about as much, like consider the most prog battle, for example, when he brings out the local newspaper that reveals Prog was like some teacher for like troubled youths in the area, whatever. And here he discovers that Quill's rap name was Justice.
Is that why he uses a poetic
That's right. Apparently he had songs called Bang Bang, Hip Hop Savior. He just goes in on that thing as you expect him to do, and I like the third.
I like the third. It's good. Justice, not righting wrongs, no justice in world, because he deleted all the songs. This is 50. Hip Hop Savior is it Iggy Azalea.
Yeah.
Man Don't Jam makes toast. Poetic Justice, and I just put great film next. Energy.
Yeah.
I put Energy's up. I don't know what. Be realistic. What is a Quill but a dipstick?
Yes, which Quill questions him on, and Quill's like, well, a quill isn't really a stick. It's like, what are you doing? Like, actually flip the bar. Everyone enjoyed that bar, like, and I think you're wrong, actually. I think it is a stick. You understand what he meant, like.
Yeah, it's probably his way of just, like, getting his sort of, like, coming up with a comeback.
Sure.
Yeah, that bugs me when battlers do that, you know, when, like, say, someone says something and then they won't have a comeback, and then they'll just start sort of like, apart from like obviously we'll get on the Unan Gemini in a bit, where, you know, obviously the crowd pointed out the mistake Unan makes, but yeah, I don't know, I just think just leave it, like, because you're only digging your own hole then if you say something and it's supposed to rhyme, innit? But like, Sonic Line's about the hedgehog, Sonic Lines ain't about to hedgehog.
Yes, I mean, yeah, no, that's really good line as well. You know, madness really throughout these sections. He mentions Road Rash as well, the old school Sega game. Phenomenal, truly, as he goes through. Turned you into a pentagon. Why? Because that's what I'm ending on. And you know, Og does often have, you know, a slightly scrappy quality perhaps in sections, which is exacerbated by the short amount of prep time they have and the fact that the battle's been moved. But still, and with Quill's third as well, like, you know, low-key one of the highlights of Checkpoint 2, this battle.
Yeah, I like this battle. It's better than the other few. I think Ogmios wins it. Like,
no, definitely think he wins it. Yeah, definitely.
But I like the vibe about it. And I like the Matrix from Quill. Matrix looked like the bald kid who's bent spoons. Comic strip makes this comic strip.
That's been done slightly, but still, I agree. I think they make it work. And the next battle I want to talk about is Unan versus Gemini.
Marvwon, fam. Do you want action? Well, I've come to show you some proper penmanship. See, the crowd rate your violent bars. Me, I'm not impressed with it. I'm saying drop me out. They think I don't get along with my college lecturers, all them bright ideas. Up in Thomas Edison gonna stop me ending them. I've got a couple.
You picked the wrong gorilla to war with. Bar after bar, I can spit to you forfeit. You click, instantly mourning and stripped of endorphins. I'll draw swords and drawing, jurisdict your endurance. Every fan you think you have said he's shit blood, you'll dwarf him. His syllables forced in, your linguistics contorted. He only sees himself beating you because his vision's distorted by the fact that he could gain some publicity for it. Well, wait, because this is more than just lizards and mythical warships. I'm militant, literally spilling your organs. I'm picking up a pyramid to stick into your ribs, twisting your limbs, dishing up your liver in portions, sticking a whip to a sword and swing it to your lip when you walk, because you've been disfigured and more than your limbs are walking.
Which, you know, I think for me, I definitely remember watching this battle. Cemented Gemini forever as one of my favourites.
Yeah, I'm a massive fan of Unan, I've got to say.
You love Unan as well, but
I've always been a fan, but I think at this point he'd become a bit of a dickhead to people. Not me personally, but I just think a lot of people were getting fed up with the sort of the monstrosity shit, and this was just a turning point where he was trying the Unan in it, and I think, I think he should have gone first because he's battling someone who's just basically, I think he'd beat Frankie Frazier, Annie Gem, and he beat quite a few of them. And
he battled Big T by this point, remember?
Right, so he was on killing spree already, and he'd edged rap to Annie. So I think I think it was a bad move for Unan to go second. I think strategically he should have gone first, because you know Gem's coming with fire, so you know you've got to set the tone. And had he gone first, it might have sort of made Gemini sort of stumble. I doubt it, because he doesn't, he's just flawless in virtually every battle.
He really is, and he's so inventive as well. I mean, it goes without saying that he just has an excellent command of language and his rhythm, and he adapts to the big stage perfectly, even though his style is still very intricate. Lots of Tommy, name flips, Thomas. The Thomas Crown Affair gets mentioned as well. Had the picture and they stole it back. And make Thomas Jefferson, come on. Yeah.
The Jefferson Price, the Thomas Jefferson, face that dropping down a tier. I put braggadocious when I lost my first battle. I remember. No, wait, I don't. I like the. He did something like that against Shocks as well. He's braggadocious, and it's just like, it's sort of like, it's cocky, but he can back it up because he's not lost, so it sort of works. You can't really, on behalf of my Jamaican man them, Tony D. Yeah, because he goes on about Unan using a Jamaican accent. The Gideon and the Bacardi too. He does that against Tony D. And Jem sort of, he sort of pulls him up on it, and it sort of makes, because he looks a dick when he does that. I think he's better when he's just, when he goes, yeah, swagger, or whatever, you know. I think people find that a bit corny. Personally, I just like Unan when he's doing his like fucking crazy multis, and he just pulls him up on it. Syringe, just because they've hurt in your mum. Yeah. Don't get it twisted. She just ain't using them right, abusing her
perfect
time. And then well executed. I've put his execution is fantastic. The timing, and I just like his whole like persona on stage. He can look annoying, but he gets at his opponents. You know, he just stands there sort of like
spotless.
I don't think a vapor moves, but stands, does it? But like he's got that sort of snake like vibe about like moves. Do you know what I mean? It's sort of like, and it can annoy
kind of
people. And because he's not getting overly aggressive, that sort of like, that pisses them off. And like Unan, straight away, obviously, he probably planned this. I don't know. It really hit him hard, because it's like he says Richard.
Well, that's one of two like world famous Unan quotes that are birthed in this battle. So the first one is where he mistakenly. He's meant to say Richard Hammond, right? And says Richard Hamilton, which I've never really seen like the crowd correct someone on a flip before.
It's a bit in it, no pun intended, but it's a big crash in it, and it's just like it is. It fucked him up, I think, a bit, and I think after that
It's an omen, right?
Because you're battling momentum, then, aren't you? Trying to get back, but I still think Unan came with some fucking fire. Like,
there's lots of Unan, like, you know, abs buckle from Brass Knuckles, and have you ever seen the boy swerve in something German? Like, he boasts with such vinegar in his throat, like.
Filling gems and a Crash Bandicoot.
Oh no, that's probably his bar of the battle. Yeah, I love that bar.
Oh right, yeah, that's by far gems pulling out the earth like in Sierra Leone.
Yeah, and what's the deal with the Cornish pasty at the end of the round?
I thought that killed it a bit again, because I thought he was doing well to get the momentum back and win them over, and then the Cornish pasty thing, it just seemed a bit gimmicky, a bit like gimmicky. I don't like it when they do that. I think it's just, unless it's, I think DNA did it VHS with a board, didn't he? I think that's a bit. I don't like the gimmick.
It happens quite often.
Yeah, it's got to be like, but the Cornish, because we all know he's like a Cornish, you know, from the not Cornu, is it?
Cornu, from Cornwall, from Cornwall. It's a delicacy over there, but it's rock hard, and Jem picks it up and sort of looks at it, and then gets into his stuff as well. Again with the Thomas Edison idea, the bright ideas, the snarl, the fluidity of the wordplay, and the way he can just get into some huge haymakers as well. Speaking about his life, the hypocrisy of Unan saying, you know, trying to be a Plymouth mob lord. And I love that, like, listen, Little Barn, he does get some reaction, but he talks about, you know, what do I have to gain through battling Tommy, who does dragon raps? And he says going through the dragon's den was just a good business move.
Dragon fire. It's fire. It just came after the Hogwarts painting. That going through the dragon's den. That was class. He's got punches, he's got bars, he's got personal.
Everything just stacked.
He's got schemes, he's got angles, he's got composure, he's got the whole lot, Jem, and it's like, it's really hard to sort of like, it's hard to beat that with someone so composed and sort of flippant as well, and like very creative with what he's doing, and he always paints a picture with his words, which is good. That'll fire. Like, I think he's already like a bit ahead of Unan now and then. Well, Unan gets me back here with the Paul Scholes in the North Pole.
Yes, I actually, because I know obviously you're a Man United fan, but yeah, a ball cold as Paul Scholes in the North Pole, like, Christ.
That was it. Already Gaunt features, because he's talking about, looking a bit slight and that, a bit on the thin side. Gemini in it. We don't give a fuck about your necklace or your rental car. He does that with a conviction, actually. I've put that there. He ruins it a bit afterwards, but
he does a lot of...
he sort of mutters it, doesn't he? I like that. It's natural. It's like... It's how you'd say it in the street. I don't give a fuck about it. I like the way he sort of mutters it. I think it's really like... it's not forced. It's not like some of his other stuff where it's like... Where he goes, yeah! And I don't like that when he's asking for validation against battlers. Like, you know that was a hot bar. You know that
There's
was
a lot of that. There's a lot of that.
That just sort of makes you look like...
Man.
It's like... And Jem's just like, no, it wasn't. If you have to say it,
you're Richard Hamilton yourself. Really, you're questioning your own bar by that, like, because you acknowledging that people aren't reacting. But he goes full Unan. Unan goes full Unan in this second. I've spoken about probably the most Unan bar I can think of that I've heard in the battle, where he's like pen deeper than a journal in a safe on the Titanic or something like that. But I think in this battle he comes close. I've been writing in hieroglyphics as I depict leviathans and beasts of war. Have you?
Serious? No shit.
But no, I mean, I'm all for the imagination. But Jem can't help laughing, and then if you notice that when that bar's dropped, he has to turn away. Like, he just finds it so hilarious.
Everything you're saying when you're saying I'm legit, and then if you say it sounds like you're wanking in a library, it just sounds a bit. That's what people think. It's just poetry. It is. It's just like crazy, but it is good. It's well put together. Like, I put Unan multi madness, 2 Tommy guns in your frame. There is no way you can do that. There's no. I like the kickback from the gun and all that. That's a good line because that's realistic.
So pyramid to stick into your ribs. This is where it's said, by the way, people. So this is where it's parodied from then on. I mean, I don't really understand. Like, we've let so many bars slide from so many people that are so preposterous. Like, why is this sticking in people's craws?
What's this?
This picking up a pyramid to stick it into your ribs. Why is this annoying people so much? This bar.
I don't see why.
It's notorious. I don't know if you're familiar, but yeah, in fans and comments and in battles themselves, like, people mock it.
I don't think it's a bad line. It's like
in the comments,
the Gideon Bacardi thing he did versus Tony D and stuff like that. I mean, that was funny, but he's done worse, hasn't he? I don't think that's something to like. It didn't really offend me, to be honest. I think people are a little too like. People get a bit sad with it, to be honest. Like, says me with all my notes, but I don't know. I think he redeemed it with the 2 Tommy gun line, though. I like that. 2 Tommy guns with your frame. There is no way you can do that. And then
that works. He was exhibiting something a bit more novel there. But
imagine Unan with a shotgun and a bit of cider.
I can a little bit of wheat in his mouth. Yep, I can see it. A floppy hat. I could definitely envision him there. But I mean, Jem. Like the Tox and Willzy battle, we get a third round knockout in this battle, but unlike that battle that was a bit of a sucker punch, this one, has been building and building until we get a full-on confrontation here from Jem, saying what we've all heard, Unan and his girl, and Jem just putting the cold hard facts out there that he found this document online and he found an article that traced back to this person at this age on this date. So it's just, a damning indictment, really. What do you make of this round?
It fucks with Unan again, because you can see as well, like, why do you always say you haven't beat up your ex when nobody's dropped the lyrics? Like, and he'll bring that up like defensive, and then he'll say, what is it he said? I never hit her. Or what was it? I didn't hit her much. Or he's sort of confessing, innit? He's playing to his hands, basically, Unan, and Jem's just got him. Won't fight brothers, but ain't got a problem when it comes to boxing women. He's just calling him a bit of a pussy, basically, and he's calling him a wimp, looking for loose change on sofa. Yeah, like that. Because he's just calling him fake and like a bit of a bully, and it's a good angle to go with, innit, if it works and that. And the thing is with Unan, like, there's a lot of controversy about, you know, the whole psychosis thing and all that. Like, people get annoyed with, like, the aggression, the over-aggression. Because I think I put something online the other day when he battled Raptor about, if you're going to say, you know, like, Thesaurus does it, break your jaw or whatever, and is it something you would do? Or are you just doing it on stage to make yourself sound harder? Do you know what I mean? And it's like, if it's not authentic and you wouldn't do it, then I just, with the opinion, don't say it. Do you know what I mean? Do you know where I'm coming from there? Because I think it's just a bit, especially if you're just hitting women. So I suppose if people he's going to use it. But it's entertainment, I suppose.
It is. The Money Mitch incident, is brought up. And, you know, quite a lot of candid, saucy details are shared. But the next battle, I mean, by the way, like, Unan does good, but that's one of Jem's crowning performances for me, that battle.
I like Unan's comeback. Maybe I should slap the shit out of your mum for giving birth to you. That's good.
I mean, it's just not quite that, like, Chris Lee, Stiz, Pedro kind of era, but obviously it's much earlier. In Jem's career, and Unan battled a lot more, but, you know, still cool to the throwdown there, and you know, it lived up to the event as it was continuing on. We had Big J versus Marvwon next. What are your thoughts on this battle?
Like I'm trying to make jungle juice. Boy, I will back out and take your back out. Jay, you gonna front for who? This meadow is like Geppetto. You was way too comfortable saying nigga. Well, try it now if you feel down, bro, and I'ma reach for you in the middle of you rapping. Like I'm Milltown Blow. These jokers ain't do shit. It was like I was watching a real clown show. We'll do it today. It's gonna be like I'm selling rims. Nigga, I'm dying to let these steel rounds go. I peeped. Everybody wanna be niggas until they gotta be niggas. Until the cops come, then it's them. Wait, a second ago it was we. Nigga.
I'm Big J, blood. Man, I make enough noise. Fuck your disabled brother, the little fuck boy. Your brother's got a hand like a baseball glove. Hey. All fucked up and shit. Man, you should have figured. You like to play games with him because your father figures distant, but you can't play normal games like rock, paper, scissors because he's only got 3 fingers, so whatever move he makes.
I thought Big J won. I think a lot of Americans, when they come over, you can see they've clear. Some have just clearly come for the paycheck, and obviously the burgers in Marvwon's case. But I just thought Big J styled on him a bit, and he was just funny, and he's good with his impressions, like at the Manchester one when he did that. And I thought Big J schooled him basically. Got my notes here. Marvwon had a few good lines.
But he was so autopilot. It was so like, I know Jay paid for Marv to come over and stuff like that, and there were a few lines that you say here and there, but
slapping 2 L's in front of your name is not going to make you cool, Jay.
Yeah.
50 Shades of Big Fat Black Man, Big J. Yeah. And that. And then Marvwon goes into his sort of counter argument to that, like, you're too comfortable saying, but he never actually says the N word. He just so I thought it was a weak response, because next black thing you'll see, talking over your ass like Ace Ventura. Yeah, good. I thought Marvwon were quite weak in this, especially like against, like, I've seen him in battles against Pat Stay and Cortez, and he's shown more crafty lyricism in this. I just think he turned up and sort of chill. And Big J actually won.
Big Joe did take it. Yeah, the Ace Ventura stuff was a little repetitive. I mean, the M-word stuff, like how he segued it into, again, an obscure reference for the crowd, but hard. Moving from that onto reach you in the middle of your rap like Milltown Blow, which is, spit that heat owner of, a Southern battle rap league who would grab people by their collar after a good bar, like Craig Lamar and Chef Trez. People don't remember that clash, but it does a what's your life like kind of idea as well. But yeah, just one of those kind of, these happen every event really, where an international comes over and it's just a little underwhelming when they face one of our guys.
Yeah, because they'll all come over and say a similar thing, like, you're not as gangster as me, and it's like, he's never said he is. Sure. So that, you've not had it tough, and that's played out, I think, sometimes. It's like, who's the better battler? Like, who's the better rapper? Who's got the best lyricist? And lyrics, I don't think, like, where you're from is important, obviously, but does it shuffle T-bodies? Everyone virtually will get on to him, obviously, and most battlers. And he's not exactly gully, is he? But that doesn't matter. He's good at what he does. So I just think, that's a bit played out. The best line from Big J comes, your brother's got a hand like a baseball glove.
Yeah.
Rock, paper, scissors, straps connected to each other, like a straitjacket, Chris Benoit. Yeah, I think Big J is quite comfortable up there. And he's quite funny. Like, the impressions always crack me up, so win, lose, or draw, he's always entertaining.
And the final bar, whipping off his hat to reveal some multicoloured braids, some dreads. Your mum's pubic hair looking like this, he says, before he whips off.
And he whips it off, doesn't he? I think he wins that. Clearly, I think it's a 3-0, a clean 3-0. And that's Big J. Like, you don't hear that, do you? Like, ever, like, hardly. So, I thought he had Sean O'Mac as well, funnily enough.
Yeah, I agree, actually. Yeah.
Slight. But, yeah, I thought Sean O'Mac was funny as well. But, yeah, he beat Big J. 3-0.
Yeah, I actually put onto the Twitter, you can follow us at battlerapresume, of your opinions on Checkpoint 2. We'll get some more of them at the end. But Big J actually commented, because I said, what's your favourite moments, anything you remember from the event, etc. And he said, me wearing a hat all day, hot as hell, just to hide my little ponytails, boss shit. So, no one was aware of it, and then, boom. I mean...
It works, doesn't it?
It works. He has a new hairstyle, but it worked.
And he won. And he won with...
He won. I mean, he didn't need it, but yeah, it was part of it. And shout out to Big J. Big J took that. So we get now into the battles towards the top of the card. Yep. Shuffle T versus 100 Bullets. This was very much a kind of an odd metaphor really altogether, this matchup for my growth as a battle rap fan. Like, I did start being such an acolyte of 100 Bullets and scheming and associated wordplay and stuff like that, and then when I got into more sort of ironic meta battle rap, Shuffle T kind of dominated there since. But
I say, come to Don't Flop, where I prepared thousands of syllables because I need you. What's a parody without the original? I mean, when I had a classic with Bamalam, you watch from the stands. 3 months later, parodied my style, and that's what got you your fans. You call them bad bars, but I still taught you, and it's all on my plan, Pan's Labyrinth. I got these pupils in the palm of my hand. You'll bring up schemes from 2013, like they ain't beat the SARS though. Then tell me I ain't black enough because I don't let the 40 go, or fit the negative stereotype. Different nerds, same story, yo. You'll probably say this ain't the first time you facing an Oreo.
Did you just say you were gonna turn up and kill my family? I don't think you are. You're much more likely to stand and rap at me. Bulletz, eh? Good name. That's my review. How many bullets again? 100. It's quite a few.
These two facing off. I don't know if you remember. It was a little while in the brewing, actually. There were a few shots called and stuff.
I weren't aware of any shots or So I'm not gonna lie and go, yeah, I remember, because actually I don't. Like, this is a pretty new battle to me watching. It's one of the few Shuffle T battles I'd hardly seen, and I've watched it all. Not recently, yeah. It was just like, this was the one where I just thought, because it's 100 bullets. It's got that rep 100 bullets. It's not like two bullets in it. It's all like, it's not. He's not really. I've never watched him for. He's never had that replay value, I don't think. But in this, I think he's. I've got about 3 pages worth of his shit in round 3. But that scheme,
right?
He's absolutely phenomenal, man. Cinematics, big theatrics, rapping a stick, then stick to acting. With rapping just a stick, then stick to acting. The simple fact is, you're a timid, brittle, skinny, average, mimic jacking, acrylic, plastic, no rhythm having, image snatching, gimmick, rapping, British faggot. That's soul. That's something soul would do. And the way he breaks it down, I've just put flawless. And, the Mark race, the kid twist. I think this was one of the first times we saw Shuffle T be exposed a little.
Yeah, he definitely didn't have as much to say or a point to prove like Bulletz did. Bulletz was kind of metamorphosizing, whereas Shuffle was just kind of digging deeper into the trench, and Shuffle talks more about like URL battlers and makeovers and stuff in the second. And
yeah,
still funny though. Like, it's a bit short, but it is still funny.
It is funny. I like the Cortez shit as well, and I like all that, like the URL stuff. He's always been the king of sarcasm. That's his sort of forte in it. That's Shuffle T's twist. He can be blunt, deadpan, and sarcastic. And Americans don't know how to handle that. And I think that's Shuffle T's bread and butter, the sarcasm, the deadpan, the taking the piss out of himself. He does that a lot for not being like gangster, or you know what I mean. He always sort of does that because a lot of battle rappers act like they're all holding guns, and they're not all like this. I doubt any of them are, but Shuffle T just is himself in it. And but I just think in this battle, 100 Bullets was just far superior writer. He just came with more craft. I'd say Shuffle T always has crowd control. 100 Bullets, twat. This is a battle, not a throwback Thursday. I know you're not the queen, you're black and white, fat, deadpan. You're much more likely to stand and rap with me. Yeah, I like that. Again, his sarcasm there, like, you're not going to shoot me. You're probably just going to say stuff to me. So, yeah, he's sort of aware of his environment, Shuffle T, and he's quite, like, clever with it. But 100 Bullets hits him with that, like, the Ricky Gervais with shitty wordplay. Just another day at the office, and, Einstein but Bomb were never split. Adam.
Yeah.
You have
Whose line is it anyway? Unfunny and sketch comedy, yeah.
Yeah, I just think everything, like, Sketch's second is good, but I'm so subtle. I'm so subtlety. I can put that subtle beat into the word subtle.
Yeah, like that. Definitely like that. Still some nice stuff. I don't think
it's enough, though. I still think Bulletz with a Ricky Gervais and the Queen, another one bites the dust. Your name Shuffle because you don't like the hand that was dealt. Down to a T, and I just think Bulletz will matter. And then that third round from Bulletz is like absolutely phenomenal penmanship. You wouldn't know a real MC if you met Hoover physically.
Yeah, most of Dilla beats. Yeah. You know what's interesting? I think I've mentioned this to him on the episode, but I've certainly said this before on the show, because I was such a 100 Bullets obsessive, like I said before. So I used to watch this video and it like collected all his rounds. It was like an hour long of his early battles. He battled a lot on like Ground Zero or Prove Yourself, wherever it was, the early King of the Dot. And he used that sequence. I remember I'd heard it before. So I'm not saying he was self-plagiarising, because probably like 200 people, 200 Canucks watched it. But still, it was cool to see that put there. And yeah, I agree. UN over your head, like United Nation Peacekeepers, is crazy. And the flow with the crowd, the click, like people are riding it, like they love it.
And he's won them over as well. Because, like I said, a lot of Americans will come over and try that, and then they're not fucking with him, but he won the crowd over. And 100 Bullets I've never associated him with being like an amazing sort of performer. He's just good with his bars, but this this like, it was well crafted. I appreciate the craft it takes to write that, because it's hard enough me reading it.
Yeah.
So I write it out and I'm like, it's cinematics, big theatrics. You're rapping just sticks out, and like I'm writing it down and I'm like, so to remember that and then to recite that, yeah, it just takes like, it's just the craft of that is and the timing of it. It's all got to be executed on it, and I do appreciate it. Like, I think about the time it took to write it. That's when you realise how good it is, other than just saying something like, I don't know, just battle rap's changed since like the 2000s, and it to your sneakers and like, well, nobody told cannabis that, but
Mom shoes.
Mom shoes.
So shuffling the third as well. I like how he has that kind of wry, eyebrow to the camera. He's saying, just because you changed your style 3 weeks ago, what I'm saying is still relevant, and that is true. And, he does have such an amazing display of multis at his command, and, being quite generalised with it and quite pointed. If you don't want to talk about shitty wordplay in a fucking battle, then don't do shitty wordplay in a fucking battle. But he loses, and I agree with you, rightly so. It's 3-2 Bulletz is judged.
Yeah. I think 3-0 personally, but no, you could give Shuffle a round, because, like, he did have some good shit. So I'd say, but definitely the third and then probably the second, Bulletz.
Yeah. And we push now, guys, onto the penultimate battle, the title match. Tony, who is in the building, had abdicated his throne after victory over Unan at 6.5 birthday in Leeds. So, two of the next heir apparents came here, Soul versus Cee Major.
So this ode to you ain't ode to you. Last title match, even Tony knew, really? This should have been Dialect versus Soul for you, but nah, you got the shot, because they based the league out of London. You think you get the shot if it was based out of Leeds, then you're bugging. You think you get the shot if the champ was Tony D, then you're bunning. You think you get the shot if they hadn't already set up you versus me, then you're struggling to see what they've done and the reasons they've done it. Now ask those same questions to me, and you can see what is coming. You are surplus to requirements. This title match is me versus someone.
Which I was so excited about. I've seen this battle so many times. I still think it's one of Soul's greatest ever displays. And I don't know about you, man, but like for me, I've always seen Soul bodied Cee Major. I don't think it was really a contest.
Do you think that? I
do think that, yeah.
I'm controversial about it. I just feel I think Cee Major 2-1 me edged it, but
what? No.
And
no.
What it is for me, I think what goes in Soul's favour is obviously the energy, the bars, and it's personalised. Soul personalises it well, whereas Cee Major, he spits a lot of solar plane and stuff about crap, C4, and some of the shit he's coming out with is awesome. I think if you just go on bars, I think Cee Major edges the bars, but Soul...
Cee Major does not edge the bars against Soul. No way. No way.
You put the famine, you're enough to...
That's
body
basic.
Like,
second and third are making threat, though. It's like...
Yeah.
I just think... you play guitar, like...
Yeah.
That's every bar.
I think, I don't know.
That's what makes it a good title match, though. We can disagree on this, like, but I think we can both agree it is pretty high quality. Like, it's like genuinely quite exciting and enthralling to watch. I still get caught up in it. Like, the energy is incredible.
The energy's... First thing I noticed was him wearing the Queens of the Stone Age shirt.
Love that. Era Vulgaris. Yeah, great album.
Vulgaris, I've seen them like 7 times. I'm a big fan of them. So Josh Holm and so yeah, it's
the ISIS bar as well. Come on, from Soul. That's probably bar of the battle. Like,
what's that?
The ISIS bar. 2 I's you can't use, 2 S's you can't say.
Yeah. And I didn't even get. I was trying to figure that out the other day. Actually, what? And Soul does something about. I think you do Mustang Sally, don't he? Ride around. Yeah, does a Mustang Sally. I just think, I don't know, Old Testament, this sea's killed many men before. You're an atheist, no soul from Cee Major. But I'm going to go on some of Soul's best shit as well, like pen circles around C, copywriting.
Of course.
fucking crazy. That was awesome. 2 eyes, yeah, you can't see.
Yeah. What about the Lara Croft? Backed into more corners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one, Cee Major, turned his Cee Major to a crescendo.
Oh.
Red Dot, Gassam, Clipper. Christian, that fakes violence just to gain an edge. And it's the aggression we saw. I think that's what wins it over, as well as the right angles. I just thought, like, Frugal Arab killing 2 birds.
that was great. That was great.
He did 35 battles last month alone. Like, recoup more interesting than a payday loan.
What about Soul's history lesson in the 3rd, the 2012 Killer Crop?
Oh, that was sick. Yeah, that was good. The way he built it up as well. It's all about. It's all about.
Driven on the road that we built, you Croft, like. Yeah.
Switch to Moss for a synagogue. Bandwagon jumping, style biting, dweeb, take the belt. 2 words. Behave yourself at the end. Like Hammers, West Ham, GSP headband. 2012 Killer Crop, Mark Gris, Blizzard Crop.
Oh yeah, and all the people, the building, the layers. It's Dante-esque.
Yeah, it's well executed, and he sort of starts off and then slowly builds, and then gets all intense, and the way he builds it up is phenomenal. I think at the time what it probably was is like when I watched it, I was probably like, because even when you root for him, you sort of want the underdog, don't you? Sometimes when you're watching, you sort of think, like with Raptor v Tony D, you're rooting for. I'm rooting for Raptor, obviously, because I'm from Manchester, so I'm going to. But and he did beat him, and that's just not biased, but he did. And that's for another debate. I feel he bodied Tony D, and there was a lot of bias in the judging with that. But especially with the Oscar Pistorius, there was more shit than that won it as well.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that, because I will always have Raptor beating Tony, always,
all day. And I'll admit, he got walked off Soul, and I'm sure everyone knows that.
Yes, Soul bodied him, but definitely beat Tony. I think quite convincingly. But...
And he beat Cameron, and
and
then the path.
I mean, that was a good battle. I think that was just a close battle.
Because Paul's actually could edge that, but no, the go to hell. It'll be a long journey. It's a safe journey.
It'll be a great journey. Yeah.
Yeah, come on. That was fire, but. But I'll admit when he's had his bad battles and shit, and he's lost, recently to Unan. I'll admit that. I think he lost probably a 3-0 or 2-1. But
Soul just makes those points though. Like, he just weaves those tapestries. Like, speaking about how Cee Major hasn't won a battle in 1,000 days and not deserving the title shot, and since I was banned, and parlaying that into a whole argument, I love it.
Yeah, he does sort of. And the problem is as well with Cee Major, he hardly addresses the crowd again. Soul addresses him, and Soul's really good at that. He did it via Raptor as well. He wins him over, and it's just the aggression's it is hard to deal with. But I like man with words. If you ain't man of your words. It's all chat cuz don't want to wreck the league, motherfucker. That's what a champ does. Boys with Jed sometimes got to cut off own arm before poison spreads.
I mean, yeah, it's certainly more pragmatic kind of writing, yeah.
I mean, I suppose what Soul does do is make it relatable and makes it more of a direct attack, whereas Cee Major sort of is spitting all these To me, I think some of it's creative. The Star of David stuff's good. Passive aggressive, manic depressive. But I mean, you can call Soul a loser and a bookworm and do all that, but unlike with Unan, Soul actually has he can counteract it, can't he? Really well. He never throws him off. He went through a period where I think it was against Bender and Chris Lees. He got beat, and then he came back against Raptor, obviously a 3-0, easy. And then this battle, this was before that, obviously. This was just before the sort of drop, weren't it? Because he lost to Caustic. And,
that's right, yeah. He was on the upswing here, certainly.
On the up, this was probably when he was at his peak, but then he came back and fucking went even better.
Yeah, he's still that's the thing, yeah. He's been back better than ever.
I think the problem here, Soul, it's just the marketing sort of that, because I've always wanted to see these battles like Shotty Lunar, Soul Lunar, but it just wouldn't happen because shot is more music into now, isn't he? I think that's he's done the battle scene, he's sort of beasted it, and it's just a battle I always wanted to see, Soul versus Shotty. But
Soul versus Shotty, that's interesting. Soul versus Shotty.
That is interesting. I mean,
they fucking respect the hell out of each other, so it'd be a hell of a battle.
Yeah, it'd be. It's a mouth-watering one. That's a great battle.
It is. Yeah, it's left field, and I couldn't really. Yeah, I don't know whether it would actually go down, but still, you put the idea out there, and I appreciate that because that would be a good clash. But no, I mean this. Continually, people debate this clash. So you feel that C should have been champion?
See, that's now you say it like that. Now I see major flaws. Said that. Chilla said that. No, I actually, now you've said it like that, like with a should he be champion? I just think I just thought his bars were sort of like they hit more for me, but I don't know because Souls was more of a personal attack, and I suppose that wins the battle. But C just had a load of lines like Benjamin Button grow to stage to get, but was it Born Again Depression?
Yeah, I mean,
women.
He had the Charlie Hebdo. See how Calling Me Out Ends Up Bad For You comics was dope.
Yeah, maybe it sways because I've got Soul winning round 1, but I've got a tie as well in 1 round. So I just think C definitely took the third. I think. Yeah. So it's preference. It's literally preference.
It is. Yeah, that Soul's third for me is an all-time round. Personally, I just think it's minor masterpiece, but no. And again, guys, let us know what you think about these battles. What do you think about Soul and C? We are live streaming this. Jack saying, mate, that battle Soul went fucking crazy, unreal. And Mafembe saying he definitely did, despite the choke in the first, he did body Cee Major. So I mean, 2 people think Soul won, Hughesy, but C again, he's got his followers, and like I'm certainly one of them.
Oh yeah, I'm a fan of his writing, definitely.
Have you listened to his music much? You listen to 10,000 Hours?
No.
Oh man, you have to if you love him in this battle, yeah.
I've got basically like, and I mean I did work with a grimer once. I did a demo and it's on YouTube, Piano Player. But funnily enough, like with that music, I like battle rap and I like my rock, but I don't actually listen much to. I've heard Shotty's stuff and a bit of Raptors, but I don't actually listen to much of the music from him, to be honest. I prefer the battle.
Yeah, I mean, on the whole, battle rap music is terrible. Like, it's far and few between, yeah.
It is, because, like, have you heard of All I Know Is That by the Saurus?
Yeah, that's, not great.
Yeah.
I mean, shout out to Saurus every time. But yeah, New Jersey Twerk just had a single out that was terrible as well. I don't know if you heard that.
I would have seen versus Swave Sever. Oh, God.
What, the recycling?
No, the GOTC battle versus Swave Sever.
Twerk, yeah. He recycled a bit in that, I believe.
Yeah, and I think he got euthanized, he got schooled. He did well, and he had a few rebuttals, but I thought Swave Sever sort of took him to he was sort of teacher student again, like old man, young man, and wisdom versus youth, and I thought Swave Sever beat him, but
shout out Swave, by the way. I don't know if you've heard it, but we had Swave on the show about a year ago. That was a great episode, so word to Swave.
I remember when he battled Disaster. That was one of my first.
Yeah. Diz was crazy in that clash.
Diz was
battling the guy in the crowd and like
New York as well. It was, weren't it? It came to his like.
It was. Yeah.
My favourite twerk line though, the pupils, Mona Lisa. His chess. He does some. He's got too many twerk. He is good, but I've heard Geechee beat him. But...
Yes, I did watch it. Yeah, Geechee beat him pretty consummately.
Did you watch Geechee versus Charron? I
haven't actually seen that yet. No.
It's a bit subpar.
Okay. Felt a bit.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that event was as good. And Haywood as well. I think Matt Myron beats him as well. So Matt Myron v Danny Myers.
That's a good battle. Yeah, I prefer Danny in that battle. But yeah, what was it, Mac? The bubble through the ups and downs like a lava lamp, like.
Yeah,
that was pretty astonishing. So now we get to the final battle. The battle, quite frankly, why there were so many people at this event and it was so crammed. Even though the title match is not the headliner, this is the headliner.
Listen, fucking with Oshea, you'll never win. Listen, you battle the type of people I battle on other channels, so I don't have to put no fucking effort in. Imagine us in a scrap and leather him looking like he's never been in a fight. Plus, Bloodstone see more in a night than you've seen in your life. Wait a minute, Bloodstone, see more in a night than you've seen in your life. Isn't that the most quoted bar out of every battle you've been in combined?
It's been a long time since I last saw you and you've grown so much. I'm sorry that I left you and your mum to deal with that alone. I just decided that I hate her and I had to go. That's a joke. I'm just here to do Oshea a favour. I heard that he's so broke he'll take any battle thrown at him just for the cash alone. I even heard he started buying speed instead of bags of coke. He had to downgrade from Ye to Whiz like Amber Rose.
1.3 million views Lunar C and Oshea has. It was uploaded less than 5 years ago, as we said. I mean, this has been wanted for so many years. And if you remember, I think Lunar actually called him out on the 2-on-2 clash. Like, he wants to battle the fat scouser from Liverpool. Yeah, both of them, or something like that. And so this was always in the offing. There was always the cry that Lunar never faced anyone of actual opposition. And he just mentioned this in the battle that we'll get to. But Lunar was coming back. Lunar was battling Oshea, Hughesy. This is a remarkable occasion, right?
Oh, great occasion, like. But here's the thing with Lunar. I were talking to some people at Slipknot and just having a few drinks, as you do.
Right.
And one guy turned to me and said, Gaz and Kev, if you're watching, because I told them about doing this as well. I think it was Gaz and Kevin, Gaz and Steve. And they were Scouse lads. But they said Lunar C by far is the best rap battle they in the UK ever. They thought that was there.
Yeah.
And I was like, I personally think it's had a shot of your soul. But
yeah.
I'd argue with his CV, me, because it's Mickey Worthless.
DPF, yeah. Bloodstroke.
I'd argue with Uno Lavos. It's not.
I mean, he still gave some pretty landmark showings, though. Like,
and some of his bars, like the Israeli, and I think they like. He's got a lot of highlight reels, obviously. One thing about Lunar C. The one thing I'll say about him is, I know I've listened to a few of these podcasts, and he didn't like the sort of violent aspects of it. You can already see that versus Bloodstroke, where he gives him space and he backs off a bit, and I don't think he liked. I think he came back for Oshea because he knew it'd be a beer and a chill. Because what would he have done if it had been in front of someone like Unan and shot him? How would he? I'm not saying he wouldn't have barred him, like joked him to death and bars, because Lunar C's really relaxed at that. But I just wonder how he would have coped with that. Like, I don't know, because that's the reason he sort of got out of it, and he was probably getting a bit serious. I wonder how he would have coped against, a Shotty Aura, and that's the big question, innit? That's the battle everyone wanted to see at the time, innit? And
it could still happen. I mean, yeah, maybe.
The money's right, it can happen. I mean, that'd be. But I don't think it'd take a lot to pull Shotty out of it, because they're probably mates as well. But I do respect Lunar C, you're about as gully as Brian Adams. He said that versus Bloodstroke, didn't he? He's got some lines, and in this battle, Oshea starts off quite well, I think. Ja Rule.
Probably his best round, the first round?
Yeah. Fan base of 12-year-olds. And then he does the Bloodstroke stuff.
I like the Bloodstroke. Bloodstroke made you, he says.
Yeah, I mean, he gets a lot of shit, a stick, doesn't he? But at least he battled him. Like, I tell you what, I admire anyone who goes up there and tries it, because, you can be confident, and you can be loud in front of people, but you go on there, you've got to remember all your shit, and you've got people, and then someone's going to say something against you that might, I know that's what you've got to do, you're a battler, but the pressure that they must be under to do it is that's why I respect it a lot. It's more than just writing words down and remembering it, innit? It's a whole cadence, it's performance, it's timing, it's everything. So I respect it. And like, so Bloodthrow obviously had a bad battle against Lunar, but it sort of made him, and at least he had a goal, you know what I mean? Because a lot of people used to say to me, "Oh, do you fancy doing it?" And I'd just be like, "No," because I know I'd be over corny, and I'd start improvising, and it'd fuck up my written work, you know what I mean? I don't think I'd be prepared enough to articulate what I wanted to say. I'd just start like doing a frigging Michael White.
yeah. I mean, yeah, Osh, he has a lot of non sequiturs. You know, the C in Lunar C stands for dickhead. Everyone's looking forward to the return of this tape measure, and he just pulls out a tape measure there. I like the absurdist bent of Lunar's fans being obsessed to convince Osh that Lunar has a brilliant foot. And Osh's like, "Oh, you mean he's got a great free kick?" And they're like, "No, his toes are amazing and his heel's sick."
Yeah, I like Oshea. He doesn't take it seriously, does he? He has a laugh with it, with a pint in his hand, and he's sort of like a lad's lad. And that people like that, because it's why a lot of people people would say to me like, "Oh, I don't like Unan, I like Oshea. He's funny, he's like," because I don't think he gets too. He knows what he's good at, and he sticks to it, and he knows what he's not really. He's good at the gimmicky, he's good at the jokes. He's got that Ja Rule bar was all right, you know, but he knows his niche, doesn't he? And he doesn't try and like break away from that. And but I think Lunar C with the Amber Rose got to put you in your place, like OCD, Tony Deep.
I mean, we're back to 2011. It's 2011 all over again.
Yeah.
You know, the best possible way. When he begins product of a shag gone wrong and a snap condom, it's like the crowd, man. I've been waiting years to hear bars like this.
Yeah, because it's just simple. That's the thing with what I like about Lunar C is he's direct. He just goes straight in, straight away. That's what I noticed. Like he's just like, he doesn't try and like do too much. He just keeps it simple. Does his sort of jokey bars and keeps it really direct, flowing. And it's just straight from the off. It's at a pace, like frantic pace, where you just can't afford to. He can't. He's got a good rhythm to it, and I think he's always been good at that. Lunar C. He'll just go, "You're about," and he'll just go with it straight away. He won't like sort of. He won't overthink it. He won't try and break off into some crazy scheme about dragons and whatever. You know, he won't do a Unan on you, will he? But yeah. And to be fair, he probably would have beat someone like Unan, because he'd just pick you apart with his jokes and that. I think that's like. But I'm always interested to see how we do with Shotty or Soul. But Oshea, round 2, Dingle Brothers, Chicks with Dicks, like a crying game. If anyone gets that reference, have you seen that film?
Yes, of course.
The awkward thing about that was we're watching it with my mates. Obviously, when we didn't know what it was about, so you're just watching it, and then Forrest Whitaker in it, and we all just sat there, and it was just really sort of uncomfortable, like darkness around the room. Everyone just sat there, and then when obviously with a dick, it was just like some people would have to be a certain age to see that as well. So not a lot of people may get that reference, but
yeah, it's very, very Osh quality in that reservoir. I mean, Lunar looking at his phone on the second round from Osh there. Which I think Lunar mixed up his rounds, maybe. You know, he talks to the crowd a little bit.
Yeah, probably a bit of ring rust as well, because he'd been out for so long. He'd probably reach around like a porn star, paying for his direct to me.
Yeah, hysterectomy. Yeah, taking out the girlfriend's womb and stuff like that. So yeah, he had pushed his wordplay on a little bit with stuff like that, with more kind of like artistic flourishes. We did still get, you know, a lot of his just kind of classic ideas. Fisting her the other day, and Innuendo shook his hand. Like, he was returning to the greatest hits in some ways in these verses.
He was returning to a time when, it was like just jokes and mugging people off, sort of rhyming, instead of just. And he mixes that well with the bars, because when it was just like your mum this, your mum, and then mixing it with like the sort of articulate bars as well, like the a la Whack Bar.
Yep.
Our Whack
Of course,
Bar.
yeah.
Great bars. And yeah, that's, I mean, that's like the Israeli one, innit? I like, again, that shows that he's more than just like, he is more than just jokes. And I've also got here a bit of a note. Freestyling always looks natural with Lunar C.
Yeah.
You know, like Disaster when he frees, and we know he's sick at it, but I mean, he's the best, probably the best at it, to be honest. But Lunar C does it just so effortlessly. It's just like he just makes it look easy, basically. Like he's just like a tiny shoelace. Like it's so easy to Lunar C, like to do the freestyling, whereas some find it harder. Like that's just he's talented, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Osh mentions King of the Ronalds, which I think was an early Don't Flop reference to King of the Ronalds Day KOTR. Osh pushed more keys than Callum Martin. My dick jokes will kick the shit out of your dick jokes. And, you know, Luna, it's not like necessarily it's the greatest Luna. There's nothing wrong with the performance. And, you know, despite whatever mixing around, so it doesn't matter. He still has loads of great moments. And, you know, all the faculties are still there. I don't know. How did you feel? Do you think this stacks up to his greatest performances, the Oshea performance?
No, I think the first 2 rounds, but I think he saw. No, I think this, you know, I was saying the question about him battling certain battlers and the CV, and this battle might have been a reminder, like how long he's been out. With like he still did well. And like, you know, Daddy's home and all that, and he said all that, and the crowd, he knew the crowd came to see him, but I think he might have realised, like, right, because he got out again, didn't he? So had he done another battle and a few more battles, then we'd have seen where he could have gone with it. But I think the time might have caught up with him to how battle rap's changed and adapted in ways with the lyricism. I think the jokey stuff's good, and it worked against Oshea. But I mean, Oshea had a Savage Garden bar as well, Truly Madly Deeply. That's really sad.
I mean,
anyway,
yeah, just again, Oshea's lineage is wild.
No, but I just think in this battle, Lunar C sort of, I think he found it. It was getting a bit like he was doing all right, and then, like he said, with the phone, I think he probably thought, right, not lost his way a bit, but I don't think he was amazing. Like anyone I spoke to just said, like 2 friends, but yeah, just said, yeah, he was all right, he was good, but that was the general, like, not like he was amazing. He was fun in the first 2 rounds, but it was nothing like, whoa. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't, but don't know. I don't know why. I don't know why he sort of tailed off, to be honest. I just think, it's ring rust. I think it's been out for so long. And a big crowd as well, because a lot of the sort of battles he used to do were on a smaller scale. And this one was a bigger one, and it was maybe getting you. He's a natural, but maybe getting used to that sort of adulation, coming out, sort of like having a new crowd for you and that. Because there'll have been more fans who've not seen him as well. So I just think like maybe the pressure. So maybe he just thought, yeah, I'm already winning, so I don't need my best shit. But
yeah, and I guess he did win.
It's not like disaster, is it? Or
no, but if Osh came sharper, Osh would have won, I think.
Well, they say he beat Tony D.
He did, yeah, I think he did. I've definitely going beating Tony.
And that's what I mean. So if you're finding it hard against Oshea, maybe it's time to call it a day. Yes, that's my first bar. There you go. Shit. That's my first ever rap. Yeah, no, it's not. Yeah, I think if you could edge it to Oshea as well. So if you're not shining against Oshea, because I like Oshea, but let's be honest, he's not like I said, he's not Rum Nitty or Av, is it? So there's levels, isn't there? So I think
no, it's definitely not going to trouble that spot. So yeah, that brings us to the end of checkpoint 2. Obviously, there was the second day as well, which we're not really going to go through. But yeah, there was Shox Koj, which also had versus Shox as a little thing. I think towards the end of that or before that battle began. Pedro Charron, the Freestyle Rumble, Olive Winter versus Craft D, and maybe a few other battles I'm forgetting. But any standouts from that day for you, Hughesy?
Yeah, Shox Koj, the Robocop Murphy line, and then the voice line from Koj.
Oh, that voice bar is sensational.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
They sing when the back's turned. Yeah, fucking hell, for judging the voice.
It's one of those Koj. He has he had some good battles, and then some shit ones. It's just never consistent, but yeah, he was good in that. I think he won that as well quite clearly.
Yeah, he did actually. Yeah, and I love Shox, and I was such a huge Shox fan at the time. I'm so excited to see the next battle from him.
My favourite Don't Flop battle of all time is Shox versus Soul Barno.
Yeah. What a battle though! Oh my god!
What a battle! That is my favourite. And Shox, I think he did deserve the win. It was fantastic.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree there. So I guess finally, what's your favourite battle from Checkpoint 2?
My favourite battle from Checkpoint 2. You know what? Obviously, Cee Major, but 100 Bulletz versus Shuffle T because of Bullet's third round. It was just cinematics and all that. Yeah, it was just crazy.
Yeah, I'll say Cee myself. Could have easily said Quill Og as well. Really like Gem and Unan too. I mean, there's so many battles on it.
Had Unan not messed up, that would have been better, I think.
Yeah, certainly.
Unan, he came back and bossed it again, didn't he? So he's just he's always good to watch. He's got good pulling power, Unan. People they either love him or hate him, and that's good because it sells. So.
All right, man. Well, again, guys, go check out all our earlier editions of Classic Event Rewind. Looked at 4th birthday, to the test 7, to the test 10. We've done World Dom 2 both days, and maybe forgetting some other ones that we've done on there as well. And yeah, subscribe to Battle Resume, leave us a review on iTunes, subscribe to us on Twitter as well, at battlerapresume, battlerapresume@gmail.com if you want to get in touch with me and you want to come on the show like the guest today. I mean, Hughesy, how do people find your stuff?
Yeah, all Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, Hughesy Plays, and that's basically Hughesy Plays on all 3 of those. Hughesy Plays, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. There you go.
All right, man. Well, we'll put the links down below, and again, guys, comment down below your favourite bars, moments from Checkpoint 2. What event do you want me to look back on with a guest in the future? I'm trying to think the next one I want to do, really. I kind of want to do the BET stuff as well, the Freestyle Friday stuff, so maybe something like that I'm going to look into, or maybe a Vendetta or something on King of the Dots. So yeah, let me know. As always, it's been Tom Battlerapresume. Check out my pun podcast as well, Pun It, my competitive wordplay game show podcast for a different side of us, where we're just throwing out our best editions of wordplay. So yeah, the link's down below. Check out Hughesy stuff as well. Thank you, man. This has been good.
Awesome. Thanks for having us on. Appreciate it. It was awesome. Cheers. I want to do Rum Nitty versus Av. That's my favourite American battle. So.
Oh, man. Come on. MOP, you're anti-up.
Mop your ante up. That's it. And 30 under the 40 in proper fracture.
Okay, yeah.
Anyway.
On that note, so yeah, guys,
nice one.
Thanks again, and this has been Checkpoint 2 recap. Go back and watch all the battles we've discussed. Again, I can't believe it was 5 years ago, but the battles are so fucking good. So yeah, Hughesy, cheers again, man.
Cheers, Tom. See you.